Hi everyone, Jason back again giving you an awesome side trip when you're driving on the West Virginia Turnpike. My wife and I have tried to expose our son to as much as possible over the years and we're always up for a new adventure. So where are we heading? If you spent any time driving on the West Virginia Turnpike around Beckley, you have most likely seen the signs for Exhibition Coal Mine either coming or going. I've seen these signs for as long as I can remember. So earlier this year, while coming back from a music festival in North Carolina, my son and I decided we would make this stop. I had never Googled or looked it up, so this was kind of a throw caution to the wind type of stop. Now, it's not right off the highway, so be prepared to let your GPS lead the way, but you won't be disappointed. I wasn't quite sure to what to expect, which generates a bit of excitement. Was it a big hole in the ground? Was it a cheesy exhibit of tools? But as we pulled up and I saw the main complex as well as the several smaller buildings and walking paths, my expectations were exceeded. Always a good indicator. After parking, my son James and I entered the main building. We were greeted by friendly staff members. They took the time to explain the entire complex, the walking tour, and the volunteers in several buildings, and where to be for the underground tour. We opted to take the self-guided walking tour of the complex before the tour underground. Exploring the many buildings on the site and learning about life at the turn of the last century, I thought my freshman dorm room was small. Wait until you see the living quarters for the miners. Some of the highlights included the superintendent's house, the coal company house, the school, the church, and the miner shanties. Most of these structures were moved from their original locations, but all give a great representation of what life was to live within a typical coal camp. Each building gives you the sense of stepping back into a time machine. James especially likes seeing what a school looked like back then. A great deal of detail has been given to each building. Not only the structure, but period accurate artifacts take you back in history. And you thought that was it? Nope. Right next door is the Youth Museum of Southern West Virginia. I found it appropriate for kids of all ages. The main construction uses 4 railroad boxcars. Calling all train lovers, we found several hands-on exhibits devoted to Da Vinci, and it turns out they have 3 rotating exhibits per year, so there's an opportunity to see something new each time. Behind the Youth Museum, you'll find the Mountain Homestead. This is a recreation of a settlement in the early days of Appalachia. You'll experience a log home, a one-room school, a general store, and our favorite, the blacksmith shop. The interpreters are a wealth of information throughout, and we just watch the blacksmith in action. Well worth spending time walking through, especially with your kids. Not many get this experience of seeing how far the evolution of society has come over the last couple centuries. But of course, the big attraction is the mine, so let's get to it. When you purchase your tickets, you'll be instructed to congregate near the mine car a few minutes before the tour begins. This is to meet your guide and go over the rules and regulations, a necessity for sure. Our guide was a former miner with loads of experience underground. See what I did there? Loads. Anyway, he takes you on a slow ride in the side of the hill. It's what they call a drift mine, and your imagination can take over. It was hard to imagine anyone working in such an environment all day, every day, getting paid in money only usable in the company store. What a life. The ride is slow and has a few stops throughout, pointing out the various history of underground mining. You'll learn terms such as roof bolting, rock dusting, pizza pans, and others. You'll see the evolution of the tools used and the lighting. Some stories make the hair on your neck stand up. It's well worth the price of admission to get a literal inside look into one of the drivers of the Industrial Revolution. The guide was very knowledgeable and great with kids alike. All your questions get answered. The tour is just rock solid. Once you trek back to the surface, you'll still have access to the rest of the ground, so be sure to finish exploring before you head out if you haven't already. So, in summary, regardless of where you stand on the current state of mining in the world, this is an actual glimpse into the past and how miners lived, worked, and helped build the United States. It's an important part of our history and a much better example than what we may read in a book. So, give yourself a few hours, take a few snacks, probably want to grab a sweatshirt because it is chilly underground, and find yourself in Beckley, West Virginia sometime. Thanks for listening, and let us know what you think. And of course, keep on roaming.